It's that time of the year and everyone is getting ready for the festive season. Today I'm going to show you a tutorial how to make your own little Christmas tree candle holder. You can fit a candle inside and the light will come through the holes. So let's get started. First up, you're going to get out your board. If you have purchased one of our clay plate kits, everything that you need is in that kit. Otherwise, you can grab some stuff at home, and if you have access to air dry clay, you can make along with us. So we're going to start off with our board, piece of air dry clay. You're going to use your little rolling stick and a stick to cut, and also a few other goodies that I'll show later. Okay, so first off, we're going to start by slabbing our clay into a flat pancake. Don't want to go too thin or too thick, otherwise it's either gonna fall over or be too thick. I always say like a piece of toast, almost that type of cookie type of width, then you know you are right. Okay, so first off, we're going to start by cutting out a little triangle. You can grab your stick. You can either do it freehand or you can use a ruler. It's up to you. Okay, so I'm just going to use a ruler for my bottom part. I'm very lightly first starting to draw my line, and I'm going to go freehand up to the top. If you make a mistake, you can always start from scratch. Okay, so you can use your stick, or if you have like an old knife lying around. Children, if you're doing it on your own, always remember to get a parent to help you or adult to help you when you do any work that involves knives or cutting. So if you have a knife, you can use it, but the stick is more than enough, like a kebab stick or something like that, to cut it out. Okay, there we go. So here is our little triangle for the tree. You can see mine is quite thick. You can make it a bit thinner, but I always say rather thick than too thin, otherwise it can break. Okay, so I'm just going to let it sit there. Let me just see if I can bend it a bit. You can even use your stick. I'm just going to roll mine a little bit wider, very slowly. There we go. Put it back into shape. Okay, I'm going to put this on the side. Now I'm just going to take all my excess clay again, and we're gonna work it in. Go. Okay, now I'm gonna slab again. Okay, that looks about right. What I'm doing now is I'm creating the base for my little tree to stand on. This is too thick, so you can either shape it by hand. If you have too much clay, you can also draw a circle. If you have a cookie cutter at home, you can use that, or you can even just do it freehand. If that's too difficult, you can ask your parents to maybe help you to cut out a piece of paper that you can do your template on and cut it out. Okay. Remember, you want it big enough so a candle can fit in. I'm just like rolling the edges a bit. There we go. Okay. Excess clay you can put to the side. Okay, now we're going to grab our slab again, and now we're going to create these little holes. So in your kit you'll have a straw, or if you don't have one, you can use something else. That's maybe a pen or a pencil. But remember, when you're doing the holes, don't go too close to the edge. If it's too close, it will break through and your sculpture won't be steady enough. Okay, so can grab your straw. Remember not to go too close to the edge because this part still needs to be attached. So leave a little space. I always start at the top. You're just going to wiggle it through. You can lift it a bit and just push your straw through to make sure there's no clay stuck inside. Make sure all the extra parts of clay are gone. You can grab it out like that. See, I'm just pulling the straw through. If your clay is very, very wet like mine, just be careful. Rather put it flat and do it slowly. There we go. If it makes bumps, you can just like smoothen it out. Sometimes it's best to, if you're working with clay, just leave it for like an hour or so, just to dry a little bit, so it's easier to work with when you've done your slabs. Remember not to close the edge. Okay, just gonna make mine pretty again. You can use your fingers just to smoothen it out. If your clay is too dry, if it's very hot, you can use a bit of water on your fingers just to smoothen the cracks out. There we go. Okay, I think I can add one more down there. Okay, decide which side you want to the front. Always look for the one that's the nicest, smoothest for the front part. The back no one will really see, so if it's not too smooth at the back, it's fine. Okay, something like that. Okay, so remember when we're attaching clay, we use scratch and attach. So again, you can use your stick and just start by making a bit of scratchy marks. And then on the inside, you'll see my inside is not so nice. That part's better. So again, you're just going to do on the edge scratchy marks. And now you're just going to attach it. Just bend it around like that. Okay, but obviously now it's not very tight. You'll see here. You need to work it in. So you can start firstly by taking a bit of clay and rolling a small coil of thin little worm. The key is to have it nice and thin so it doesn't stick out. Let's see. The clay is very wet. Okay, I'm just going to break off a piece there. Okay, now again, in attaching, I'm going to take my stick and just in between the two, going, if you look closely to the camera, you'll see I'm going onto the bottom and onto the top. And on your coil, you're going to make a bit of scratchy marks. And I'm just going to attach it, break off a piece. Now you're going to use your finger just to softly push it in. And you can work it into your top and bottom of your two pieces. It's fine if you lose your holes at the bottom, you can redo them. It's very important that you make sure that the clay is worked in so it won't break off. Also, on the sides where your Christmas tree comes together, work the edges in. Remember to check that your Christmas tree doesn't topple over. So I'm just like bending it a bit, getting it right into shape. If it's like mine, that's very wet and rough, you can keep it for like a few hours, like I said, just to firm up a bit, and then when it's a bit more drier and easier to smooth, you can just take your finger again and just smooth out all the little lines. You can take your make your holes again with your straw. Make sure all the little excess parts of clay, little pieces are off. Okay, there we go. That is the basic way to do it. You can decide how big you want it. In your kit, if you have bought one of our kits, there's enough clay to make all the projects, but if you decide you'd rather just want to make one or two of them, it's up to you. You can decide how big you want it to be. You can make your tree wider, taller, it's up to you. Then when it's dry, you can paint it and use it as a little candle holder.